We're going to get back in the swing of things with some Starbase summaries in this episode. Seeing the QD arm coming off of Pad 1. That's the ship QD. This weird Nosecone's been making the rounds. It's making the cones. I don't know the right way to say that. But it's got an odd seam down the side of it. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the video. And we've actually got some behind-the-scenes shots of Dan rewiring a camera. And some other stuff that we've been doing before and after Flight 13 out there at Starbase. But it's a Starbase summary. My name's John. Talk to you down in the comments. Let's start it off with this crane getting hooked up to that ship quick disconnect arm. Now, the front part of it was already removed, and we've been seeing them do a lot of work on this. But again, this is over at Pad 1, right? So we'll see. Watch the arm itself. You see the strings, the leaders tighten up. And then we see it sort of take the load, and you see some cutting happening. Did you see it shift a little bit there? Like, look, rewind it if you didn't see that, but they make those cuts. You see some sparks, and you see the whole thing shift just a little bit. So that whole QD arm coming off, there's a wider shot over from the highway site, taking it down. But again, Pad 2's on your left there. You can see that OLM, the second OLM, and then Pad 2 was on the right in that shot. So, oh, did I just say, no, Pad 2 was on the left, Pad 1 was on the right. Is the correct way to say that. We just switched shots before I was done talking. It happens a lot. So, putting this down on the ground, clearly going to be doing some rework. They've got a lot of lessons on that Pad 2 ship quick disconnect arm. Are they going to leave it here? Are they going to roll it back to work on it? I guess we'll see, but coming all the way off the tower so that they can perform. So, you know something? I'm going to say that it's more upgrades than just maintenance. They're going to get this thing in line with Pad 2. Because remember, with the whole rapidly whatever, the rapid iteration that they do, they don't just make one design and then make 50 of them for parts like this, for the towers and stuff. At some point, they're going to need to standardize these things, right? You're not going to want 40 different tower designs with 50 different arm designs. I don't know how that would work, but I guess the chopsticks have 2 arms each, so there's technically 3 arms in each tower. So the math works. But I imagine they're going to be bringing these things in line so you don't have a bunch of different designs out there in the wild. As much as they could. I mean, the tower from Pad 1 is not being completely brought down, right? Knock on wood. But trying to get these things a little bit lined out so there's some consistency, sharing parts, sharing design, sharing maintenance, all that sort of stuff. Other things happening over at Pad 1. You can see that big crane and that gantry there as well. A service structure. I guess I called it the gantry, the service structure. Got some crane pieces on the ground as well, but they have been working on getting that service structure framework. Again, it says service structure. It's really the side of the launch mount. Remember, the launch mount is the big box-looking thing, and it's got the circle in the middle. It has a sign on it that says insert rocket here. Right, and this is the part that is to the side of that, sort of the trapezoidal bunker shape. And this carries all the piping, consumables, framework, blah, blah, blah. That does not include the actual launch mount. So we'll expect... Oh, look at that. What is the reflection? This has to be a morning shot because the reflection, the sun would be rising. Yeah, there you go. The sun is to the left. And the sun rising behind that camera was right there on the office building. That's interesting that this time of year that's set up just right. But anyways, I'm here looking at the sun angles. There you can see a boom lift being lowered down into the trench over at Pad 2. They've been working on these upgrades, I guess, reconditioning. I don't actually know what the right term to use is. But after Flight 13, we've been seeing them doing a lot of work around Pad 2. You can see top of the OLM booster quick disconnects are still a little scuffed. I guess that actually looks like a surveying instrument. Do you see that little tripod? I know it's not a deployable camera. It's not one of our cameras, but that really does look like a surveying instrument. We're deep in discussion about this. The rocket goes up, then it's... I don't know what they were actually saying there. I wonder if they're checking that the amount is still true. Is it still level? Did things get knocked out of whack? I wonder exactly what they're looking at there. That's actually super interesting. That's a really good catch there. Here we've got a lift going up the side of the tower. It's got this sort of just after golden hour time here. Caesar was out there catching stuff. Got some lights, but you still got the sky a little bit lit up. Some lifts working underneath the pad there in that previous shot. This is sort of a morning sort of thing. We've got some grass waving in there. There's that ASU. Still not online yet, but largely constructed. Most of the main elements of that construction are in place. What have we here? That looks like a valve. Either they're going to install mailboxes for people getting mail out at the ASU, or that is like a valve structure, like a little roof that goes over some sort of control boards or something like that. It's curious that that wouldn't be inside. So, okay, it's going up to the roof. Those almost look like bottle straps, but that wouldn't make any sense. Huh. I wonder, what do y'all think that thing is? I'm curious, going up on top of the ASU. So, as promised, here are some behind-the-scenes shots. There is Mr. Dan working on Dune. I love how we still have the litter carry arms on that because it's way easier to carry with those arms on it. But out there maintaining the cameras, we had to rewire some of this stuff. We're always trying to keep things going, especially in this dome-up configuration. Wow, this high-definition shot of Dan in the daily here. Looking very dapper, Dan. Tightening down the M6 bolts there with great precision. That's going to be going out to north. We've got, oh, nice, we got the dog with us as well. Yes, it says bark. Does that, it's a NASA bark at the moon. Okay, over the North Beach site, that camera that's hanging down at the very top, for flight, we actually flip that camera over. Don't tell the warranty company. It looks like it's flipped over right now because it's got bird poop on it, right? But we don't leave it that way long periods. The camera's not designed to be weatherproof in a dome-up orientation. So right before flight, we flip it dome up. That allows us to get the tracking shots and look up above the horizon, right? Then after flight, we go out there, we put the ladder on the tower. See the braces on the tower there, right? It's got a huge base plate, and those braces have these huge ground stakes drilled into the ground there. But we flip that camera dome down for the longer-term sort of stuff. That's Beach 3 up on top of the tower. Got a hair in there and a little bit of, wood out in the ocean. In this area right near Beach 3, it's actually an old resort, the Del Mar Resort, and there is the remains, the pilings of a dance hall there. And depending on how much sand there is, you can see the pilings or not see the pilings. Don't hit them with your vehicle. They will not give your tire a good day. It'll be a bad day for your tire. So here on this, right, this is this flanged nose cone. You see the weird sort of seam down the side of it. It's rolled into Mega Bay 2, which is, of course, where all the ship work happens. You see, there's not heat tiles or anything, or not a lot of them. There's a couple of them there, right? But what are they doing with this? Is this some sort of test jig? Are they working on ideas for a nose cone that can open, like the Chomper nose cone? It's really interesting. We're going to see where that thing rolls out. And, of course, on Starbase Live 24/7, we will keep up with where that thing ends up. Progress on the Gigabay over here. It's been going up. Got a little pause because of the flight that was in there, but the crane's not actively craning anything right now. It just continues to grow up out there next to the Star Factory. You see all the stations? Do you see the booster stations in there? Do you see how many boosters they can work on in between each one of those things? They're sort of work platforms with booster workstations. So that is going to be nuts, those massive doors we have on it, and I hope that at some point we're able to look in there and it's nighttime and it's all lit up and you just see rows of boosters being worked on. It's like booster freaking 40 through 82 or something in there. Well, I don't think it's going to hold 42 boosters, but got some pipes. What if those are drain pipes? They got a flange on what? Is that a flange on one end? I really wonder if that pipe is like for drainage off the roof or something. You're not piping any mass quantities of consumables around in there. That's not a thing. I'm curious. I bet you it's something like super mundane, like water drains. Got a quick correction on the camera angle there, but the driver of the SPMT riding by in style on the little. It looks like you could put an artillery piece on this. The offset driver makes me think of like a military vehicle or something. Here, looking over at Massey's, that's the 39.1 test tank. It is moving from left to right because it's coming back. It was leaving Massey's after some tests occurred on it. Rolling up Highway 4 here. Those power lines there are coming sort of towards the production side. Got a patchwork of tiles over there, working on some different ways to lay out, I guess to attach the tiles, I guess, would be my guess, to see how they stick during different parts of the vehicle test, like when it's cryo inside, it gets cold, how do things expand, contract, how do they work whenever you go through that testing. That hose hanging off the side. I wonder if that hose is, like, I'm surprised it's not secured. You've seen what happens to unsecured hoses around Starbase, but that one looks like it's hanging in there, quite literally. Nighttime roll, causing a little bit of a traffic jam. Look at most of the vehicles in there are propellant trucks. They're big cryo tankers. You can see all the round backs of the trucks. They're all going to pass and go over to the launch site, I guess, topping off the launch site after that Flight 13. Got a little bit of a silhouette show, shadow show there for a minute, but there is the Starbase summary. Hey, getting back into it, like I said, after Flight 13, massive thanks to all the crew that was out there for Flight 13, catching all that footage. If you haven't seen the other footage where we just had like the super cut of slow motion and telescope and behind the scenes shots, make sure you see that. It was the shots, the angles you didn't see was the name of the video. Probably a couple under this one, but that'll do this one for Starbase Summary. Again, see you down in the comments. Think I missed something? Have an idea about how something's going to work? Let me know, because I read them all, and I will see you nerds later. Thanks for watching.